Hi guys, for those that don't know me, my name is Zoe Papadatos, a registered acupuncturist and owner of Eunoia Acupuncture on the Central Coast. I'd love to start off with a story for you all. Well, once upon a time there was this 12-year-old girl. She had recently moved from her home to a place that was foreign to her. She had to start her old life again, away from the people she knew and the place she called home. She would cry herself to sleep at night for weeks on end, just wondering what this new place would bring her despite the comforting hand of her grandmother. It was here that the panic attacks started to come into play. The feelings of oppression and fear weighing down on her during those times, it made her uncomfortable and unsettled. Shortness of breath, her heart beating fast in her chest, and the extreme heat rolling over her like waves repeatedly crashing down on her. And the nausea, that nausea twisting in her stomach, making the vomit rise up in her throat. There were also times where she felt minute and inferior and sad, sitting in her room for hours on end thinking why was she feeling this way, and something had to be wrong with her for feeling this way. These feelings were a common occurrence over the next 10 years. However, it wasn't until she had to jump off the train at an unknown station due to the extreme heat and nausea rolling over her that she believed it was time to rise up and fight this feeling that was not acknowledged in this society. It was during this time that she found natural medicine, in particular Chinese herbs and acupuncture, and started to make lifestyle changes and sought out tools to help her overcome these feelings. And do you know where she is now? She owns her own business, helping people with similar concerns of their own and through those hard times that she once felt. And I feel so incredibly blessed because that girl in the story, that girl was me. Now think about all the people on your sporting team, in your workplace, or even in your house at the moment, being, locked inside due to COVID-19. Have you ever thought how these people are feeling or what their backstory is? Well, statistically, 1 in 4 of you all will be affected by mental health at one point in your lives, and out of all of you, 54% of you will not speak to someone about this or seek help. That is over half of you all out there. And it is because of these statistics, my mission is to continue to break the silence around mental health, provide education, and create a supportive network to those suffering so that people don't feel alone on their journey like I once did. So today I'm going to share with you a few methods to help you take control of your mental health or help your friends or family who may be suffering. In Chinese medicine, our main aim is to look at the root cause to why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and working from here to help overcome the symptoms that are arising and prevent them from happening again. The causes can originate from an external environment, such as the rainy cold weather, internal means such as the emotions, or what we call miscellaneous factors, which includes diet, stress, lack of or an excess of exercise, ergonomics such as posture, or a physical trauma. In Chinese medicine, we believe that our emotions can affect our physical health, and our physical health can affect our emotions. Now, emotions such as fear, worry, and anger can lead to damage of the organ systems in Chinese medicine theories. It is said that worry injures your spleen and your stomach, which is why when you start to feel anxious or worried, you start to get a nauseous feeling, stomach pains, or have to run to the toilet before a big meeting, an important speech, or a big test. Grief and sadness can damage your respiratory system, which explains that when you do go through a stage of grief or extreme sadness, a cough, short of breath, or lethargy may become apparent. Fear damages the organs related to water metabolism, such as the kidneys and the bladder, explaining why children, when they experience fear from either a nightmare or daily experiences, may wet the bed or their pants. Anger and depression damages the organs of the liver and the gallbladder, and overexcitement can injure the cardiovascular system, which is why if you get overexcited, or as if I like to say, a little bit anxious, you may experience an elevated heartbeat, tightness in the chest, heart palpitations, or a shortness of breath. This is all due to the correlation between the organ systems and the emotions that we may feel. It is your body telling you, by you feeling this way, your body is starting to come in balance, meaning you need to change something. As someone who got so affected by their emotions during this time, it is so hard to see how big of an impact these emotions have on your daily life. A quote from a transformational coach, Jim Fortin, once said, "It is so easy to attach to a thing, people, and ideas around us that in the end, many of these things become our suffering." Our emotions are one of these things that we get attached to and can make us suffer both physically and mentally. They help us form stories in our head that make it seem like we're always suffering, and due to the society that we live in today, we are always constantly being pushed to feel like we're not worthy of health or success. Fear and worry has become such a part of our lives that we involve it in a part of our own stories. So our role here is to remove ourselves from these emotions, acknowledge their presence, but move on and let go. To help you work through these emotions, I highly recommend meditation. There is a diversity of apps out there that you can use with a range of meditation tracks of various lengths, and a majority of it is for free. My personal favourite that I like to use is an app called Insight Timer, which is absolutely beautiful and has some beautiful tracks, guided meditations, or just some meditative music. Secondly, do not underestimate the power of deep, controlled breathing. When we breathe shallowly from the tops of our chests, this increases the stress hormone cortisol within the body. So by using those deep, controlled breaths in through the nose, deep into the belly, and out through the mouth, we switch to the parasympathetic nervous system, decreasing this hormone and allowing our bodies to function adequately. By taking your mind off these emotions through methods such as meditation and controlled breathing, it is the only way to get through them. The amount of times you can sit there and try push them aside, they'll only come back into the forefront of your mind. So by being present, allowing yourself to acknowledge that this is how you're feeling at this present time, and using perspectives in situations will honestly make the biggest difference. It is the start to de-identifying ourselves to our emotions that allows us to work through them. Now, if you're suffering from mental health, I also urge you to look into your diet. Like they say, food is our medicine and you are what you eat. As I'm sure many of you already know, gut health is linked to brain function and cell health within your body. So by improving your digestive health through a balanced diet and also acupuncture, you are able to give your brain and the body the nourishment it needs to function properly. If you aren't, then it gives your body the opportunity to become imbalanced and for negative concerns to arise. So I just want to give you all an example of how food affects your emotions and your behaviour. Let's think about the kids for 1 second. What happens when you give your child sugar or caffeine? Not that you should be giving them caffeine. Have a think about it. They start bouncing off the walls, they're on this sugar high, they get all jittery and they start talking fast and unable to think clearly or process decisions at hand, and they're overthinking, oh my god, mum just gave me lollies and chocolate and this is amazing. And then what happens when they come down off that sugar overload? They start to get all sad and upset and have that sleepy look in their eye, and they might even start crying. Or they start to get really angry and think, I want more chocolate, but mum is not giving it to me. Why? Now think of these behaviours and emotions, and what would you say that they look like in everyday life? Expressions of anxiety and depression, don't they? Well, research over the past few years shows a direct correlation between eating a diet with high intake of fruit and vegetables, whole grains, fish, low-fat dairy products, and antioxidants, with a lower intake of animal foods and processed sugar, and a decrease in risk and prevalence of depression. And in Chinese medicine, diet therapy is a key principle that links back to 100 BCE, emphasizing the values of moderate eating and balance. Because of the digestive functions of being able to feed the body and provide it with the energy and nutrition that it needs, Diet therapy was the first element of healthcare looked into depth during the first treatment or consultation of Chinese medicine and acupuncture consultations. The main advice that these ancient physicians gave was, do not over or undereat, but eat in moderation. Eat all of the food groups in moderation. Eat foods that are warm in nature, such as chicken soups and porridge, as the digestive organs thrive in warm environments. Avoid eating too much raw foods, such as salads and smoothies, as these are cool in nature. And avoid eating high consumption of rich, heavy, greasy foods, as well as those with high sugar content, as these decrease the metabolic rate and overall mind and body functions. Now, during the panic attacks when I was a child, I look back into my diet now and could not believe the amount of bad foods I was eating. Staying at my grandmother's, of course the Greek one, and eating foods smothered in vegetable oil, or when I was feeling sad or upset, constantly reaching for that chocolate bar or muffin, and when my energy wasn't adequate enough, pumping my body full of caffeine at university. My body was not given the chance to thrive. So by cutting down, or as I did, going cold turkey on these foods with high fat and sugar contents, decreasing alcohol and caffeine intake, and increasing my fruit and vegetable intake, my mindset and my mental health was then given the chance to thrive. Now, once I figured out my diet, I then delved into ways on how to manage my stress and how it impacted my body. For me, acupuncture, exercise, and self-care are my saviors. From a scientific perspective, when your body is in that state of fight or flight due to external stresses, your rate of digestion and metabolism is then decreased, and your vital organs such as your lungs and your heart get all the energy to fight off what we think is a physical threat. The main type of any type of method to assist with mental health is to get you out of this fight or flight mode where the adrenal hormones are in high demand, and get you back to a balanced state where the neurotransmitters such as serotonin in the brain are at their optimal level. As many of you probably already know, exercise has a direct link in releasing endorphins and serotonin, which are your happy hormones, in the body and the brain, which then allows you to release stress, improve mood, and relieve symptoms of anxiety and depression. Research has shown that only 20 to 30 minutes of aerobic exercise can improve mood and anxiety for several hours. So what are you guys waiting for? Get to it. Also, this is where acupuncture is amazing. Our main aim with acupuncture is to get you out of that fight or flight mode and back into a general state where digestion and your normal physiological functions can occur. This means balancing hormones, regulating dopamine and serotonin, resetting the nervous system, and decreasing stress, all through these single-use sterile steel needles. Now you're probably wondering, a needle changing someone's physiology? Well, here, there's an example of one. Well, acupuncture has just as much scientific evidence behind it as physiotherapy and chiropractic care, if not more. It has been found that beneath each of these singular acupuncture points, there are bundles of nerves, which is why the acupuncture points have a direct effect on the nervous system. When the needle enters the skin or the muscle, this triggers a chemical response through the nervous system and up into the brain, which then triggers a release of chemicals such as serotonin, byproducts that are associated with analgesia, and much more, of course depending on what points you use and the problem at hand. This helps bring the body back to a state of balance or homeostasis, helping your body to heal and get back to its optimal functioning. One of my patients once said, acupuncture is achieving ultimate relaxation and feels euphoric, and it then gives you the self-confidence that you need to get back to the week and its tasks at hand. Now, as well as acupuncture, other tools are needed to help control the impact of stress and the emotions and what they have on the body, which is where your self-care comes into play, which, guys, is the perfect time to delve into your self-care routines. So take that bath that you've been wanting to, or read the book, remove yourself from any stressful situations, turn off the news, and come up with a plan on how to manage your stress better. Do the things that you need and you love to get you back to how you're feeling. For me, self-care is my fortnightly acupuncture sessions, intermixed with hanging out with friends, of course not at the moment, due to self-isolation, hanging out with my animals and attending boot camp when that was on, little beach dates with my loved ones, and honestly, so much more. However, between my acupuncture sessions, I need that little bit extra on, how to control my stress. Life at the moment is pretty nuts, so you need to get out there and do stuff, or stuff that you can practice in your home, which is where acupuncture intermixed with breathing techniques and meditation can be amazing. The meditation side of things allows you to calm your mind, and integrating this with the breathing techniques and acupressure is honestly just unreal. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you thinking, what's the difference between acupuncture and acupressure? Well, there's not much difference at all. Acupressure is very close to acupuncture, however, leaves the needle side of things out of the picture. Or as how I like to put it, acupuncture is a little sister or the peer support buddy of acupuncture. It aims to still stimulate the specific acupuncture points that are related to how you're feeling emotionally or just in general, and help you overcome these feelings during the times when you are off the acupuncture table. You can perform this at home, on the train, in the car, sitting at the lights, and you can utilize this anywhere in the world at any time. So because of the impact that acupressure has had in my everyday life, I just wanted to share with you my 3 all-time favorite points that I use on a daily basis, of course, depending on how I feel. So the first point that we're going to have a look at is what we called Higu, or also known as adjoining valleys. This point is located between the thumb and the index finger, located in the junction, approximately here. This point is one of the main points that we use in acupuncture to help release stuck emotions from the past, especially from grief and sadness. It helps promote overall energy flow within the body and assist with symptoms that generally pertain to depression, such as lack of motivation and tiredness. Though not only does this point assist with those functions I've just mentioned, it is also a really common point that we use for colds, flus, possibly COVID, constipation, digestive upsets, as well as sinusitis, due to the channel correlations and where it traverses the body. So now what we would do is locate the point. You can either use any 3 of these techniques I'm just about to share with you. So you can either apply a deep, firm pressure onto the point, you can massage the point, or you can tap the point. Either one of these is adequate. Personally, I like to use the deep pressure as well as the massage. And then what you would do is sit there, focus on the point for about 30 seconds to a minute, and I personally like to do this with my eyes closed and really focus on the sensation that the point presents you with. This is the whole meditative practice involved, and make sure you're breathing through it as well, because they can be quite sensitive when they want to. So let's just sit there for 1 sec. Remember, thumb, index finger, just in the junction there. When you find the sore spot, you know you've got it, and then let's just sit and breathe. Now what you would do is do this for 30 seconds to a minute, and make sure you do both sides to balance out the body. Now the next point that we're going to do is called Ne Guan, also known as the inner gate. This point is located 3 finger breadths up from the wrist crease, just in between the tendons of the forearm. This one is used a lot during times of anxiety and can help release tension and assist with nausea. It aims to balance the yin and the yang of the body. You can't really see it, sorry. Just there. Aims to balance the yin and yang of the body and provide an overall balance, thus can also promote sleep. This point not only helps with that, but it can help with morning sickness, bloating, heart palpitations, as well as shortness of breath as well. Now the lucky last point that I'm going to show you today is commonly seen in the yoga practice and known as the third eye, or what us acupuncturists call yin tongue. Yin Tung, also known as the Hall of Impression, is used to settle the mind during times of high stress, panic attacks, and when you overall just need a little bit of relaxation. This point can also help with eye strain due to the proximity near the eyes, sinus pain due to the top sinuses, as well as a foggy mind. With this one, what I like to really do is, instead of using firm pressure or massaging it, I like to tap it. This just brings extra sensation to the point. Now I've got a nice little red mark on my head. Now these are just some of the many points that you can use to take control of your mental health. And because of the major role that acupressure has in conjunction with acupuncture in controlling my mental health, I've created a tool for you all to help boost your self-confidence, increase motivation, and overall will during this time. This ebook informs you a variety of acupressure points that you can use in everyday life to bring you back to a state of balance that aims to decrease those feelings of anxiety and depression. It is a guide to help you take control of your mental health, both physically and mentally. If you are interested in purchasing a copy, feel free to jump to my website. I'll share the link below. Head to the shop and purchase a copy at 50% off. My aim here is to help you take control of your own health while you are in the comfort of your own home. As well as these, as this acupressure guide, there are also a range of other beautiful gifts that you can purchase during this time of hibernation, just in time for Mother's Day or the upcoming birthdays, which I'm offering free delivery on the Central Coast. Well, this chat has truly just touched the surface of mental health, acupuncture, and Chinese medicine concepts. I hope you've all learned at least one small thing from this and are feeling more willing to share your story with the community as I've shared mine. If you or anyone you know is suffering from mental health issues and are feeling lost as to where to head next, please do feel welcome to give me a call, send me an email, or just pop in a comment below and I can get in contact with you and answer any questions that you have. There are truly some amazing alternative options for you out there to look at your health holistically, and I'd be more than happy to recommend some products, organise an appointment, or simply just share some advice to help you or a loved one start their journey to better health. Lastly, I'd like to thank you all for being here, not being here with me today, but listening to my little talk. I truly am blessed to have you all listen to me, and I truly look forward to hearing from you all. I hope you're all staying safe and positive during this time, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. Take care, guys.